This podcast, brought to you by Anchor, is currently non-profit making and is based on the second edition coursebook on international history from 1870 to 1945 for Cambridge International AS Level History. Welcome to the second episode of my first AS Level series, which is Series 7, Empire and the Emergence of World Powers from 1870 to 1919. In this episode, I will be going over European rivalry and tensions over Africa. Firstly, I will look at some sources of rivalry over Africa between the European powers. One example of rivalry between Britain and France was in Sudan. Britain had retreated from Sudan during a revolution, and France and Italy tried to use it as an opportunity to take control. Britain decided to reconquer Sudan and sent a British-Egyptian force to Sudan. Meanwhile, France sent a military expedition to gain control of the upper River Nile. The British defeated the revolution and went to investigate the French. They met peacefully. However, during what is known as the Fashoda incident, Britain threatened war on France, so the French withdrew. They most likely rivaled due to Britain's nationalism and eagerness to maintain a close relationship with Egypt, as they wanted to retain control over the area which they had controlled alongside Egypt. Britain and Germany had a rivalry over Zanzibar and East Africa. While the British were interested in it for cloth, manufactured goods and raw materials, the Germans wanted to suppress the slave trade there. Germany and Britain decided to divide the area of East Africa. Britain was given Zanzibar as they were very interested in it for trade, and Germany was allowed an important naval base in the North Sea. Economic interests played an important role in European rivalry. Britain had acquired the Cape Colony in southern Africa. A businessman, Cecil Rhodes, wanted a British Empire to stretch from the Cape to Cairo. Upon the discovery of gold and diamonds, Germany began investing more money in the nearby region. Britain saw this as a threat to their trade and conquered the nearby regions to suppress German investment. Individuals also played an important role in European rivalry. Originally, the King of Belgium, Leopold, claimed that he wanted to abolish slavery and increase Africa's trade. However, he actually wanted to claim parts of Africa as part of the Belgian Empire so he could exploit their rubber resources. However, Portugal, with Britain's support, had also claimed the region. Therefore, the Berlin Conference was held to settle the disagreement. Now on to an example of how strategic interests played a role in European rivalry. Britain wanted to conquer Egypt because of the Suez Canal. This is because the Suez Canal provided the British with an important trade route to import and export to the UK and other British colonies. Meanwhile, other empires were also interested in this as an important trading route. Originally, Britain and France shared control over the Egyptian economy. However, during an uprising, Britain established a protectorate over Egypt. Secondly, why did European imperialism increase tensions between the great powers? Firstly, the Fashoda incident of 1898. British and French forces clashed in Sudan after a French expedition to the region. Both countries claimed the territory, and the incident almost led to war between Britain and France until a compromise was reached in which France accepted British control of Egypt and Sudan, and Britain accepted French control of Morocco. Secondly, Weltpolitik, 1890 to 1914. Wilhelm II became Kaiser of Germany and began a policy of Weltpolitik in which he aimed at gaining overseas possessions such as colonies. Germany was a new empire, and their late entry to the arms race threatened Britain's strategic and commercial aims. Thirdly, the naval arms race, which lasted from 1898 to 1912. Germany began their naval program, believing it was necessary to protect their trade and empire. They wanted to be respected by other nations and empires, believing that for this they would need a powerful naval fleet. This worried other empires, so they too started to further develop their own navies. Fourthly, Entente Cordiale in 1904. As they both felt threatened by German expansion and development, Britain and France signed the Entente Cordiale, which settled their rivalries and differences. The Kaiser believed that this new friendship threatened Germany's international influence, so he tried to destroy their friendly relationship. Now finally, the Moroccan crises in 1905 and 1911. In 1905, the Kaiser stated that Germany supported Moroccan independence to attempt to cause a split between Britain and France. However, Britain continued to side with France, even when Germany sent a gunboat to the Moroccan region to undermine French power. I hope this episode has been helpful to you. In the next episode, I will be going over the impact of European imperialism on the Africans and how Africans resisted the imperialism. Thank you for listening.